here's your host, Commissioner O.
What's up, D4L? Welcome back to D4L Radio. I'm your host, Commish O, and today we're breaking down everything you need to know from seasons 1 through 3. From Hall of Fame announcements to shocking upsets, trash talkers, and one of the most intense Super Bowl trilogies in D4L history. This episode has it all. Stick around because we're also revealing the community nomination round results for the Hall of Fame and sitting down for an exclusive interview with Boyce. Let's start with season 1. This is where we introduce the D4L Hall of Fame, a monumental edition that honors the league's best of the best. Congratulations again to our inaugural inductees, Mays, Cho, and Grove. We also welcome back a familiar face, Sell, returning to the league after a multi-year hiatus. It didn't take long for him to shake off the rust and remind everyone who he is. The initial team draft had its share of surprises too. None bigger than Ravens fan Neezy picking the Steelers 4th overall. 4th overall. Bruh. The league still hasn't fully recovered from the shock of that decision. Talk about a plot twist. And finally, the Super Bowl matchup between the Raiders and the Vikings. Mays led the Raiders to victory, adding another achievement to his Hall of Fame resume and cementing his dominance early in D4L history. Moving on to season 2, we saw the arrival of new talent, most notably Panthers owner Edge of Reality. Known for his trash talk, he didn't last long, but more on that later. The Patriots shocked the league with a 14-3 record and even secured a playoff victory. Sadly, their story ended before the AFC Championship, but they certainly turned heads. Sell returned to form, leading the Rams to a 13-4 record that year. His quarterback Tim Montana put up big numbers with 59-79 passing yards and 65 touchdowns. Vintage Sell indeed. For the Super Bowl, it was deja vu as the Raiders and Vikings faced off again. This time, Boyce and the Vikings took home the title, bolstering Boyce's Hall of Fame case and tying the score in what was shaping up to be an epic rivalry. And that brings us to season 3, where the action hit new levels. Hall of Fame voting officially kicked off with the community nominating their picks for greatness. I'll be sharing the results of the community nomination round later in the show, so stay tuned. From there, it's on to the Hall of Fame panel review before we announce the finalists in our final podcast of the year. The season's biggest surprise? I'd say it's the Broncos forcing their way into the playoffs. They weren't on anyone's radar early in the year, but they proved they belong. On the flip side, Panthers owner Edge of Reality had a good season, but decided to call it quits after too many losses. He found himself complaining a lot every time he lost, but when he won, it was all good. His departure came with the announcement that he was deleting Madden and stepping away from the game entirely because he wasn't happy playing the game anymore. Safe to say the league chewed him up and spit him out. And that's where the league's new motto comes from. This league is not for the weak. If you're here, you gotta have the grit to handle the grind, losses and all. We all deal with it. We also welcome 2 new users, God is Real One with the Jaguars and Savage Mac 39 with the Browns. Both are already making their presence felt, and we're looking forward to seeing what they bring to the league. The season culminated in an epic Super Bowl trilogy between the Raiders and Vikings. This time, Mays and the Raiders came out on top, exacting revenge for their season 2 loss and solidifying one of the greatest rivalries in D4L history. All right, it's time for the interview with Boyce. Hope you enjoy. Welcome back to D4L Radio. Today's guest is no stranger to the big stage or this podcast. He's a 7-time Super Bowl champion, a man who's played in 3 Super Bowls across the last 3 seasons, winning one just last year. And when he's not battling for titles, he's the one keeping D4L Bank running. It's an honor to welcome back to the show the legend himself, Boyce. Boyce, welcome back.
What's up? Appreciate you for having me.
No problem, man. Boyce, let's start with the obvious: 3 Super Bowls in 3 seasons. Um, you won one last season and came so close again this time. Like, how does it feel to make it to the big game so consistently? And what are your takeaways from this latest run?
Uh, Making it to the big game consistently means, that's what everybody plays for. You want to make it to the Super Bowl, so that's my take on that. If I'm not playing to win, I shouldn't be playing at all. Um, the takeaway from this past game, Mays played a great game. Took advantage of all the opportunities I gave him, all the turnovers. So you gotta give it up for that. Kudos to him.
Respect, kudos to Mays. He's already one of the D4L legends.
Yeah.
Looking back at this past Super Bowl, what do you think was the difference maker?
For sure, my running back, got hurt in the playoffs early. So if I had a run game, I think the game would have been different. Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks to
we
you.
we had a hand in that. That's. All right, let's switch gears. With 7 rings and 3 straight Super Bowl appearances, it's safe to say your name is already etched into D4L history. But now people are talking about you as a future Hall of Famer. Boyce, what is your case for the Hall of Fame, and why do you believe your career deserves the ultimate recognition?
Mm. I don't really have to. I don't think I have to, you know, boast on myself too much. I think my resume speaks
Talk
for itself.
your shit.
Nah, you know, but no, I mean, 7 Super Bowls and what 6 Maddens. I've been to the
Yeah,
Super Bowl every year. I played, so every man I played in. So I mean, that's what you want to vote for me to get in the Hall of Fame. That's it right there. That's all I
got you.
say.
I got you. What's the legacy you hope to leave behind in D4L in the D4L fraternity?
Just to be a winner. Have a
When they
good,
think of Boyce, they think of the winner.
yeah. And Vikings winning in the Vikings. That's it.
You're gonna make everybody remember the Vikings, man. I
Yeah,
mean, I'll tell you one thing: people will not forget the Vikings, especially with JJ.
yeah. Both of them basically now. Shit, JJ
But
McCarthy.
yeah, he a problem now. I mean, the next year it might be Daniel Jones. Who knows?
I might just get him up. No,
All right. Well, let's talk about your other big role in the league. You're basically the league's treasurer.
mm-hmm.
While most people see the glitz and glamour of the Super Bowl, you're also the guy working behind the scenes to keep the D4L dollar economy running. How do you balance competing at the highest level with managing the league's finances?
Shit. I like to get paid. I know everybody like to get paid, so it was easier to keep up with it because the system we had before, it was like we had to manually do it. So I
Hmm.
just get a bot in Discord and we can work it that way.
All right. So yeah, I was just asking. So your most satisfying part about being the treasurer.
Um, I like to see everybody get their payday, so everybody get paid. So
Do people come at you sideways, or
no,
they try to get over on you anytime?
people, most people come for me about is being paid for their platinums. That's about it.
Oh, that platinum, yeah, inside the league.
I coach. I just started coaching high school football this past high school season.
Okay, you want to give a shout out to your high school?
Yeah, shout out Los Angeles Collegiate. We're gonna get it right this off season. We're gonna come back stronger next year.
Yes, sir. Shout out to them. That's what's up, man. That's good to see you doing something for the community,
Yeah, for
doing
sure.
something outside, man. That's dope. All right, all right, we're gonna get into it. We're about to get into messy time.
Let's get it.
We know why you're here.
Yeah,
We
man.
know why you're here, man.
I'm gonna answer too.
I got some questions. I got some questions that was set up for you. Give me a second. Before that, we do have a question from Mr. Weezy.
Yeah, my God.
Question is, he would like to know your opinion on what needs to happen to make Madden more competitive across the league.
it's tough because it's more of a user thing to me. If you just loading up and playing, you're gonna get beat 9 times out of 10 if you playing me for real. You gotta work. It's just like anything. You gotta work on your craft. I mean, it's just if you want to be competitive in the league, you gotta work on it. So that's all I have to
I
say.
got you. Respect. All right, we're about to get into some questions. All right, who in the league is a complete fraud and doesn't even deserve to sniff the playoffs?
Detroit,
Did you want to elaborate on who that is?
Uncle Gene, man. He. I hope
Yeah,
it's
fraud.
fire. He got a team. He got a team though. I give him that.
He can't do it, but he got to run through the VFC, man.
Yeah, and he in my division too. So listen,
All right. Is there any Super Bowl winner in the past that should have their Super Bowl history erased?
you want a Super Bowl, you should keep it. It's a journey for sure. So I don't want to take
Okay.
it away from anybody.
Who is the biggest joke to play against? Like, you don't even have to try.
Oh shit. I don't know. Shit. It's good. It's a list.
All right. Which owner runs their team like they're allergic to winning?
Sleepy.
Sleepy. All right. Well, let me ask one more. Let's see. Is there anybody in the Hall of Fame you think doesn't deserve their spot?
That's a messy question. Uh, I only think it's one Hall of Famer right now. And that's my opinion. That's
And
that's who.
everybody else just chasing that?
Yeah, that's what I'm chasing. That's just me. That's just how I look at it. Because as soon as if I pass him up on bowls, God willing, because I don't know how many he got. But that's what I'm chasing for sure.
Hey, all right. Well, let's wind it down. The mic is yours. What is your message to the D4L League as we close out another epic season and look forward to next season?
Keep competing. Keep trying. That's all I can say. Keep competing, man. Keep
All right.
competing.
All right, boys. It's always a pleasure and a privilege having you on the show. You're a 7-time champ, 3-time Super Bowl contender in as many seasons, and the backbone of our league's economy. Um, we definitely appreciate you on the show, and don't be a stranger, man.
No, for sure. You can have me back anytime. I'll be a regular if you need me to.
Yes, sir. Hey, I might need a co-host. You never know.
Yeah, you can text me anytime. I'll do it.
All right, bro. I'll hold you to that.
But
Appreciate you, boss.
appreciate it.
Thanks again, boys. If anyone else wants to join me on the next episode, you know where to find me. All right, y'all. It's time for the big reveal. Here are the results of the community nomination round for the D4L Hall of Fame. First, we have 7-time Super Bowl champion, D4L treasurer, D4L competition committee member, Boyce. Next up, we have 3-time Super Bowl champion, Year 1 OG member, former D4L commish, D4L magazine member, Lee. Next, we have 3-time Super Bowl champ, Year 1 OG member, former trade committee member, Sleepy. Next up, we have 4-time Super Bowl champ, OG D4L member, key contributor to the league, Cell. And last but not least, we have 1-time Super Bowl champ, competition committee member, former trade committee member, OG D4L member, key contributor to the league, Gene. Congratulations to all the nominees. Your next step is the Hall of Fame panel review. The finalists will be revealed during our last podcast of the year, so stay locked in. that wraps up another episode of the D4L Podcast. From Hall of Fame announcements to playoff surprises, we've covered it all, I think. Make sure you tune in for our final podcast of the year, where we'll announce the Hall of Fame finalists and the recaps of seasons 4 through 6. Till then, keep grinding, and remember, all games matter.